welcome to episode 8 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. My name is usually 14 Fitzpatrick, but for this edition of these shows, going forward, it's going to be William Fitzpatrick, my Twitter handle. Now, for those of you who've been living under a rock for several years, welcome back, because this is the first time since April 7th, 2014 that an episode of Wacky World of Wrestling has broadcast. Not since the post-WrestleMania show have I done a show, and while I did do the editorial reviews in between that, it was just very infrequent while I was trying to regain my podcasting voice. But in November of 2015, I was given a great opportunity to be a panelist on Cage Side Speaks, which then soon turned into another appearance, and then turned into a co-moderation position. The Speaks episodes will not be affected by this weekly podcast that I will be doing with my new co-host, and it would not be possible for me to do this show without him, Sal Cusimano. Say hi, everybody.
Hey everybody! Fizzy approached me about a week ago. About doing this, we sort of threw it together, and we hope you guys like this first show. I think you guys will like this. I think we bring a lot to the table, and I honestly want to get into podcasting, so all this just worked out, and I think you're going to enjoy this.
It's going to be so wonderful doing shows with Sal because, as he said, he really wanted to get into podcasting, and I really needed a co-host because I really can't do these shows solo because it takes, for those who want to get into the inner workings of the podcasting, when I did my old Wacky World of Wrestling shows, they were 15 minutes long. I did them in a single take without any breaks with an old sound recorder and a microphone. And thankfully, thanks to the advent of technology, the Google Hangouts, these shows are much easier to do now. But I still needed the co-host to cover the majority of the segments here. The format is going to pretty much still be the same as it was. We're going to be covering Raw, SmackDown, NXT occasionally, and random news and notes from the world of professional wrestling. We will have some themes, and we will have some different shows. Hint, check with us in 2 weeks, because that's when the real fun starts.
Oh, yes.
Because
No
Wacky
spoilers.
World of Wrestling is going to be branching out into the world of professional sumo wrestling with a preview of the Natsu Basho. After our first two shows, which our first two shows will focus primarily on WWE-related programmings. In this case, it's WWE Payback. Now, for those of you wondering why exactly the heck Sal was watching Raw this week, this is your answer.
Yep. I told you, Eddie. I told you I'd explain it all. I never lie.
Yep. So what did you think of Raw, Sal?
I didn't hate it. I don't usually watch Raw because I normally hated it. I think it was this past December I gave it up because I've told this story a few times, but for anyone who hasn't heard it, it got to the point where I told myself I would be having more fun pulling my teeth out with a pair of rusty pliers. But for this show, I figured I need to do my due diligence. I need to watch Raw. I decided to watch Raw. I didn't hate it. I will say it did nothing as a go-home show. It made me no more excited to see the pay-per-view than before I watched it. So as a go-home show, it failed. As a 3-hour block of television that entertained me, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, that was my same reaction to it. It was like, I don't really care about, go home shows this or go home shows that. I mean, I have low expectations for Raws in general, and I generally get very excited when a Raw is done, I feel right. And this Raw had basically Braun Strowman launch Kalisto out of a garbage can. Although, admittedly, Kalisto did not nearly get as much hang time as Zack Ryder did in his wheelchair.
No. I think they lowered the ramp, unfortunately, because apparently broken bones are such an issue. Meh.
Yeah, not when you're in a protected, padded garbage can.
Yeah. Honestly, WWE. See, this is WWE caring about its talent, and I'm complaining. Good Lord, I'm turning into a sociopath.
Oh my goodness. You know, the I enjoyed the dumpster match. I
I
mean,
did
like,
too.
just for the pure entertainment factor of my there are several wrestlers, if you are aware of my work on Speaks, that I do not like in the very slightest. Kalisto is one of those wrestlers. He is incredibly aggravating to me. With his whole arrogant lucha thing. And then his dumb catchphrase is like, lucha things. Well, Braun basically did this. Here lies Kalisto. He did lucha things.
Yes, he did. He was pretty good at the lucha things, although I'd say there's like at least half a dozen guys in CMLL right now who do them far better, but you know.
Mhm. But they needed a guy who can actually speak good English, and he was born in America and knows English
Yep. He's
fairly
not a
well.
Yeah, no, he's not a bad wrestler. He's actually pretty good at the lucha stuff, but
Mhm.
I think Braun killing him was very entertaining.
Mhm.
It actually got a little uncomfortable at points for me a little bit
Mhm.
in the sense like, holy crap, he's honestly going to kill Kalisto. So it was like I was battling. Like half of me was just was just like full on bloodlust. Like, oh my lord, yes. The other half of me was like, holy crap, Braun, you don't need to kill him. You can just like hospitalize him. Come on now.
Mhm. Well, Braun Strowman is a very, very interesting character because there are a lot of people who are now very supportive of Braun Strowman, and oh boy, it looks like Canaanite's monitor may have just burst into flames because,
Yes.
as some of you might know, Canaanite hates Braun Strowman with the fury of 1,000 suns.
Yes. Braun Strowman is to Canaanite what Ty Dillinger is to KM Tierney.
Yep. And what are your thoughts on this Braun mega push?
I personally like it. You see, Braun is was one of the few things I would ever tune into Raw for back when I stopped watching it. Like I would just hang out in the daily, and when people said, "Oh my lord, hey, Braun's here," I'm like, on the TV. As soon as he was done, off with the TV, or just change the channel back to like hockey or baseball or something. And I'll admit, when Braun first appeared and was really green, I was down on him. I won't claim to be, oh yeah, I supported Braun from day one. I told you all. I told you all. No, I'll cop to it. It took me a while to get around to him, but good lord, has the man improved so much. He is such a fun guy to watch. He is just so big and dominating, and I, I love his speaking.
Mhm.
In a way, like it's a little weird, but it's sort of like he knows how to intimidate, so it kind of works for him. Like I don't think anyone else could speak the way he does and get away with it.
Mhm.
He's just so intimidating and so good, and I absolutely love him. So I'm a fan of this push.
I mean, he has the best entrance right now in wrestling of the
Yes,
and then with
yes,
the beating of the drums.
yes. Oh lord, that brawn in the beginning that is both like equal parts somewhat badass and part unintentionally hilarious, which I think kind of works for him. It's like because he actually has a lot of personality to him. He's mostly major, I'm going to kill you, but he does have some personality to him. So I kind of think it works.
I mean, basically, the backstory for Braun is this: he was picked up out of NXT by Bray Wyatt
Yep.
and studied under him as his disciple. Now,
Yep.
when Bray released Braun Strowman, it accidentally stuck.
Yes.
And Braun went on his own to become an independent rampaging monster, using all of the teachings that he had learned from Bray Wyatt to cause devastation on the WWE roster.
Yes. It's almost as if, and I saw someone compare this. Braun Strowman is Bray Wyatt minus the supernatural stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and and it was the formula to success all along.
Mm-hmm. Just this ginormous, scary backwoods brawler who could
Yep.
literally kill you if he wanted to.
Yes, he probably could. I absolutely love that. He is just so good at everything he does. I mean, he puts on great hoss masses with the Big Show.
Yeah.
He had a great match what was it? Eliminate? No, not Elimination Chamber. What was that? Roadblock. There it is.
Yeah.
Roadblock with Roman. So
Yeah.
he's a very good wrestler who has very good matches. Like
Hmm.
big guy. He can go though. He's like pretty acrobatic, and I mean, we have to talk about 2 weeks ago when he collapsed the ring with Show.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And Reverend Kane cheered because referee John Cone got caught in the crossfire.
John Cone sold that like a champ.
Yeah.
He went flying out of the ring. I mean, like WWE, you gotta give John Cone like a little bit of a bonus for that. That man did awesome there.
Hmm.
Just slip a couple of grand his way.
Yeah. So, people have complained about the way that they've done the Raw segments. Like, I personally have been just enjoying the carnage. Okay,
Yep.
dude flips an ambulance.
Destruction.
Yes. Then he suplexes Big Show in a ring and destroys it completely.
Yep.
Then he demands more competition, and, well, Kurt Angle sends Kalisto to his inevitable death.
Yes. Yes.
Via a dumpster.
Yes. I have seen people complain that Kalisto won, and I can understand it, Like, I get people don't want Braun losing because they feel like, hey, this guy is getting the monster push. You really don't want a 50-50 booking him.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I kind of feel like you don't want to make Kalisto feel too crappy.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't want to make him feel like, that he's basically undervalued as far as the booking goes. Because, you have only a few baby faces on the Raw side of the roster. You have to at least do some protection on them.
yes. I mean, I will admit when it happened, I was really confused by it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wait, why is Kalisto winning? And then Braun destroyed him and everything was fine. So.
Yes, although unfortunately, the dumpster did not nearly give as much hang time as Zack Ryder in his wheelchair did, as we said before.
Yeah, no. They'll never do it anymore, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Although, it was still good for what it was, but, poor Kalisto. You did good lucha things. Hopefully you can do more good lucha things on 205 Live.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the end-all, be-all goal is hopefully Kalisto finally ends up on 205 Live, because him being on the Raw side of the roster, just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we should also talk about Braun's opponent in this match, and, oh boy.
Roman.
The last month or so of Roman Reigns has been basically a maelstrom, a ginormous hurricane of just literal noise and rage and anger from what I'm hearing most people.
Yes. That's probably the biggest reason why I stopped watching Raw. And I know we've talked about this before, Fizzy, but it got to the point with the whole meta booking, meta's narrative stuff. It got so exhausting and I gave it up. And that's the thing with Roman. Like, I don't even hate Roman. I just hate all this meta nonsense surrounding him. And it gets exhausting. And it's like, you have people who will defend him to the death. You have people who want nothing to do with him and who want him gone. And it's just like, can we please just make this man heel already?
I mean, he already is a heel.
Yeah, I mean,
the man took a bazooka to the Undertaker, okay?
Yes. He's a heel in the meta sense. It's just WWE will never acknowledge him as a heel. And I know, turn him heel. Everyone says that. Yes, I know. People are complaining that if they don't get what they want, they're not going to watch Raw. People are saying, stop complaining. It's just exhausting. I won't be mad at anyone because I get both sides of it. But,
For me, I'm not mad at all. In fact, the last several weeks, as far as wrestling is concerned, I've been extremely calm and relaxed about it because, okay, Roman Reigns is getting booed. Same old, same old.
Yep.
Roman Reigns is getting hated for his booking. Same old, same old. I mean, I looked back at my old archives of episodes, and there's an episode called The Chronicles of McMandia. I was talking about this stuff 2-3 years ago about Roman Reigns, and it still rings true
Yeah.
Because at that point he had won the Royal Rumble and everybody hated that decision.
Oh Lord, that Rumble. I kind of thought that would be as bad as it got. I was limited in my imagination, Fizzy. I
Yes.
was extremely limited in my imagination. And you're right, nothing's changed. I think people are just exasperated that it's still going, but
There are people who are still hating Roman Reigns. There are people who are still liking Roman Reigns and will defend him to the literal death.
yeah.
You
Like
know,
if a war were to break out, they'd be picking up a shield and a sword and they'd be marching alongside him as the literal Roman Empire.
Viva la Roman Empire!
Oh, if they played Viva La Raza and said we lied, we cheat, we steal, that would actually be somewhat hilarious. But
I mean, I'm just waiting for the day when Roman Reigns gets like sort of a complete gimmick change and they sort of try to go back to the old thoroughbred gimmick. Only
oh,
this time with a toga.
oh God.
Go full wacky, go full Roman Empire with this whole thing, okay?
I honestly wouldn't mind that.
You know?
Would you make him like serious with it, or would you make him think like he's insane, like Caligula?
Sort of both. Because
Okay.
this is professional wrestling after all, and
Yes.
we do embrace the wacky. Heck, it's in our title card.
Of course it is. Yes. We need the wacky. I mean, seriously, look at Braun. I mean, come on. He can be pretty wacky.
I mean, this is probably a guy who reads complicated English literature novels in the backstage and goes, "What is my character? I am
Yeah.
Braun. I go roar. I
Yes.
hit people like a freight train going at 75 miles per hour."
Yes. Well, I also think he does read literature backstage because, like, the way he talks, like, the blood of Sami Zayn is on your hands when he said that to Mick Foley. It's like, this is a man who obviously reads and is quite well read and well versed and well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, 6'4" and 300 pounds and could
I
kill
think he's
you.
actually 6'7".
Okay. Yeah. Not quite
Yeah,
that
he's closer
17.
to Big. Yeah, he's closer to Big Show's size than anybody else's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this absolute. I think that they're going to add a stipulation for this at the last minute because Reigns and Strowman, we've seen them work before. It was a fantastic match.
Oh, yeah, no. The match itself, I'm always looking forward to. And something I feel I need to clarify here is that as much as I'm over the whole Roman nebulous thing, his actual matches are freaking fantastic. I will never ever criticize Roman's in-ring work because he's very good. So, the match itself, oh Lord, that will be a fantastic match. I can't wait to see those two murderize each other.
Mm-hmm. Will there be a ring left for the rest of the matches, or are they going to have this on the main event?
I think they're probably going to make it the main, considering there's no Universal title match. So,
Mm-hmm. Yes, because Brock is busy eating the beef jerky belt.
well, of course. Yes. I mean, just keep a good eye on that belt and notice how every now and again the texturing on the main part of it changes. It's like, isn't that different? Oh yeah, he ate that one. Had to ship him a new one. And of course Vince will agree because for some reason he thinks Brock is some mega draw, but again, that's another story altogether.
I mean, I am perfectly fine with Brock having that belt. The Universal Championship does not have a massive history behind it. So Brock keeping it in his cave and occasionally eating belts and WWE having to order replacements for them is perfectly fine.
Yeah, it is. Although I do think the issue is, as you said, it doesn't have a massive history. It's not going to get one when it's gone for 3 months at a time.
Sure, but those problems will be fixed out over time.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've noticed after the post-WrestleMania thing is nobody really has any patience with any of the booking at this point.
No, they don't. And I kind of figured it would go away after Mania, considering Mania is like the big season. I think it is slowly going away. I think the summer will be a lot better. I think people will sort of settle into a groove because that's what usually happens over the summer. You settle into a groove. You set up your SummerSlam stuff. So,
And they've got plans for Brock for SummerSlam once again, because SummerSlam is kind of his pay-per-view.
It really is. Yeah. Ever since he German Cena 16 times, woof.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice match.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now, I think we should probably talk about the other sort of championship implication match here. And it's not for the actual WWE championship, because I think they realized that actually defending the championship on a Raw pay-per-view would be kind of silly.
yes. Either that or they thought defending our top belt with the oldest history, the most prestigious prize in the company, in this kind of match between these two competitors, what the hell were we thinking?
I mean, okay, so we have Randy Orton, who's Randy Orton.
Yes. Who will always be good in ring, but who was dull. I'm sorry, Randy, you just are.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Bray Wyatt.
Oh, good Lord.
I like Bray Wyatt, but Sal has a few thoughts on him. Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to like Bray Wyatt. I used to like Bray Wyatt. He no longer captivates me anymore. He's just a man talking in tongues. I mean, it just got to a point where it's like you're saying a million things, but nothing of significance. You know, you have a lot of charisma, but I can't take you seriously anymore because you've lost so much. I want to like you. I'm hoping this match will be good. I have no idea what the hell a House of Horrors match even is. They've never explained it. Apparently, it's going to be sort of like the final deletion or delete or decay, according to some rumors I saw, where it's going to be like partly taped and it'll finish in ring. I have no idea.
Well, they have one of the creators of the final deletion actually there, so
If Matt Hardy can do one thing to make his entire WWE run incredibly awesome, I mean, now that it hasn't been, just convince Vince. You don't even need to make this in the match. Just show it as like a long, sort of like pre-tape thing. This match will be so much better if Matt Hardy is the guy telling them what to do and how to do it.
I think that's part of the reason why they brought him in, was because he understands all of the weird, hokey, supernatural stuff better than most people.
Yes, he does. And that is because Matt Hardy is an insane genius.
Of course he is. He doesn't really have a lot of other things to do up in the hills of North Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff keeps himself busy with dirt biking and painting and sculpting and stuff, and and Matt keeps himself busy with awesome, artsy, weird directing stuff.
Yeah,
you can really tell those two brothers are artists with everything they do. So good for them.
Yeah, I mean, they've really have cleaned themselves up over the last couple of years, because they were total wrecks a few years back.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah,
but back to Orton and Bray, it'll be what it'll be, and then Orton can move on to Jinder, which a lot of people are mad about, but
not me,
not you. Yeah, I'm willing to give it the Jinder stuff a chance. I know they're totally doing it to help the Indian market, which they're a global brand. They're going to have to do things like that. That's fine. I've seen other people, I think it was Curtain Jerkers, say, I don't really mind it. It's just I wish they had established Jinder a little more before putting him in there, which I think is totally fair and I somewhat agree with, but it'll be fine. I think Jinder, for his part, is doing everything to make this work. I mean, him stealing the belt and going into a stretch limo.
No one will find me in this stretch limo with advertisements on the front of it.
I mean, come on, that was awesome. Like, no one else can get away with that. But damn it, Jinder did, and good on him. So,
I mean, what I like about this is because, so for those who don't know, Jinder Mahal and his lackeys, formerly known as the Bollywood Boys, now known as the Singh Brothers, stole the belt from Randy Orton, because that has always worked out, stealing a belt from Randy Orton.
Yes, it has. Of course.
And so basically, Jinder ran out. Amazing, with all of his muscles, that he actually is a pretty good sprinter.
Yes. Maybe he isn't completely gassed yet.
Yeah. And so they took a limo. Apparently, Jinder bought it with all of his money.
Well, of course he does. He's rich. He knows things. Come on now.
And they took it all. They left the city that they were in, which I believe was Des Moines, Iowa.
Yep. And they went all over rural Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
They went all over rural Iowa, which, you know, probably freaked out quite a few people on the cage side threads, because a few of them are from there. And Jinder has sort of morphed this gimmick into sort of the people, I think, really don't understand this about the evil foreigner gimmick. Part of the evil foreigner gimmick is that these guys are insanely rich and also kind of insane.
Yes. Jinder is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But he's insane with a good point, so.
Yeah, he really, really wants the WWE Championship to prove his self-worth because, you know, Jinder has gone to the land of opportunity, SmackDown, and he wants to prove himself. That's the base story that I get from this. I know that there have been people who've been complaining about the fact of, oh, why are they pushing a foreign heel in our year of 2017?
Yeah.
I can understand the political implications of all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, there's a little voice in my head that says, it's professional wrestling. They do this kind of stuff all the time. Yes, it looks bad, and I understand to some people it definitely is bad, but patience. They know what's going on. They're tweaking the gimmick accordingly. Week 2 of this Jinder Mania push, they did some things differently with this one. They've highlighted more about his wealth.
Yes.
About the fact that he feels entitled.
Yes. I do think that is a fair point. I remember seeing it week 1, I'm like, ooh. And then week 2, I'm more like, still a little concerning, but you're in the right way. Jinder's doing everything he can to make it work, so you're okay right now. Just keep doing good.
And the big thing for this is that they're trying to push the India market. They just launched the WWE network over there, and while I've talked to several of my friends from that country who say that basically they like John Cena.
Really?
Yeah, they like John Cena over there. They don't really particularly care for the local guys. You know, there is a bit of a fandom for the Great Khali.
Well, of course there is. He's giant.
Yes.
Giants always sell. Just look at Braun.
Yeah. And he's actually a fairly, you know, if you get him in the right kind of match, he's actually fairly solid. I mean, he had an absolutely amazing match with Cesaro back in 2014 on Main Event.
Yeah.
Which really did a great job, you know, because, you know, Khali basically just made himself a giant tree, and Cesaro actually got him in the neutralizer for the finish on that particular match.
Yep. I also think Jinder's a decent worker, and he's a pretty good promo, so.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to do a proper promo, and on SmackDown it is much more important than the actual in-ring work.
Yes. So, I'm willing to give this Jinder stuff some time. I completely understand the concerns of some people, but I think Ward and Road Dogg are doing everything they can to make this work.
Jinder. I really do think that they're gonna do their part to make this work out. And then after Jinder tries to face against Orton, after Orton tries to recover his belt because he's facing Bray, then we have Rusev starting his push for the championship.
Most likely, according to rumors, yes. Which I think will be good. I also think I wouldn't mind seeing Rusev win the belt. I like handsome Rusev. He's a good guy. Really good in ring. Really solid. I'm also, you know, not really enjoying face Orton as champ in the year of our Lord 2017. But, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. Orton is the champion, and Rusev will probably be the eventual challenger after Bray and Jinder. And what a miracle worker Orton is going to be if he can get 3 great matches out of those 3. Now, Rusev's a good worker, but Jinder and Bray,
they're decent at best.
They're kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But it's really good to have a person like Orton on the SmackDown side of the roster that can just pull up the work rate end of the bargain.
Yes.
Where you can just focus on the shooting and the promos and all of the other kind of stuff that the SmackDown does. And let's make a little bit of a note here for our audience. You know how most podcasters and people are Team Raw or Team SmackDown? I'm not Team Raw or Team SmackDown. I'm Team Neutral. I'm Team both.
Yes. I enjoy SmackDown more than Raw, but at the end of the day, they're both wrestling shows that I don't really care enough about to get super. Oh yes, Team SmackDown for life. I will be crucified and die on the will of this show. You know,
Yes. I will
I
have a tattoo on my chest that will showcase my love for SmackDown.
yes, I can't be asked to do that. I find
I,
SmackDown far more enjoyable for my taste, but you know, hell, Raw surprised me this past week, so there
yeah.
you go.
I feel like I don't want to have to take a freaking blood oath.
Yes, yes, we're just watching wrestling. We're not joining the mob.
Or joining a cult.
Yes,
I mean, okay, I don't have a knife, I don't have a goat, and I don't have a set of robes to wear. Hey,
yeah, you know,
don't
it's
make me feel like I have to join a cult because you're so obsessive about your favorite wrestling show, okay?
yeah, seriously.
I apologize, folks, but really, that's just how I feel about this.
Yes, you know, the shows, they're just shows. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, people get a little too into their media, which is it's fine. You know, I guess we all need something to break up the monotony. We all need something to get into. It's just let's just try and keep things in perspective.
Yeah, it's very, very obsessive to a certain degree how some folks do, you know, the whole we want this brand or that brand, but like that's our thoughts on that. And well, there's also a great face of America that we need to talk about.
God bless Kevin Owens, you great face of America, you.
When he got traded to SmackDown in a deal that sent the Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose to Raw, we got Kevin Owens on SmackDown, which is perfect for him because he knows how to talk.
Yep. We got Kevin Owens back.
Yes. So for the last 8 months, Kevin Owens has been basically MIA.
Yes.
I mean, there's been basically this invisible person that's been holding this Universal Championship for the longest of times, but that wasn't Kevin Owens. That was his, like, I don't know, evil clone doppelganger or something.
Yes. That was his wacky clone. That's what
Yeah.
we're calling it. His wacky mid card clone.
Yes. Owen Owens.
Yes. Owen Owens, yes. Oh no, no. That's his son. We can't make fun of his son. He'll kill
No.
us.
Yes, he'll murder us.
He'll murder us. It's not Owen Owens. We're sorry, KO. Please, if you ever hear this, please remember we didn't say anything bad about your son. I think your son is a great kid. From what I've seen
Yes.
of him. Please don't kill me. I am begging you.
Yes, he's you know, his son is absolutely fantastic because he's so into his dad. Like, you know, I remember the Ved video where Mrs. Owens posted about him seeing his dad debut on Raw against John Cena,
Yes.
and it's like he's fighting Cena.
Yeah.
Oh goody, my dad's gonna murder John Cena.
Yes. Owen Owens is awesome. So much respect to your son, KO. Much respect to you. Much respect to your family. You're a good man. Please don't kill me for my mistake. Please don't kill me. But now back to the serious part of this. I think Kevin Owens has refound himself. He's become the ass kicking murderer that he was in NXT.
Why is my name on the list?
Yes. Boosh.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Kevin Owens has found himself. And I find it funny that when he had the main belt, he was treated as a mid-card comedy heel. And now that he has the US title, which is ostensibly a mid-card title, although on SmackDown it's pretty much the main title, ironically, in importance. Like we're going back to the summer of 2015. Those were dark times, but anyway, now he's like main event heel. It's like, so does Kevin Owens have some sort of like weird pact or something going on where if he holds a mid card belt, he's main event heel, and if he holds a main event title, he's like mid card heel? I don't know.
I think in this case, because I think he sees the U.S. title similar to how he saw the ROH World Championship as a belt that he could use as a platform to carry the show on.
Yes, because Lord knows, as good as Randy is in ring, he is not carrying SmackDown.
Yeah. Kevin Owens and AJ Styles are.
Yeah. AJ put the company on your back. Kevin put the company on your back. Boom. That'll be. Now I guess I think we're both figuring Kevin's going to beat Chris because he's going on tour with Fozzy soon. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
really,
Chris
but
Jericho is going on one of his little hobo sabbaticals again.
yeah. Which you know what? Good for him. Go do your music, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll actually be a pretty fun match at Payback. Owens and Jericho Part 2. I like their Mania match good enough. So
Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho actually had a shockingly good Mania match this year for once.
yep.
After the
I think
disaster he had the year before with AJ Styles.
yes, but we will forget that for
I
many
think AJ
reasons.
is probably thinking to himself, oh, thank the Lord above mercy, I don't have to fight Jericho again for this belt.
Yep. So we'll have a pretty good, what should be a pretty good match between Owens and Jericho, and at Payback, and then Owens can move on to facing AJ, facing the company Styles,
Mm-hmm. Yep, he gets to face
and that
the phenomenal hobo.
yes, oh man, and that'll be such a great match.
Mm-hmm.
AJ and Kevin, they're gonna do some great things. I also like how they've kept Baron and Sammy in this too.
Oh, yes, yes. We also need to mention the other person that ended up getting drafted to SmackDown. To my incredible joy, Sami Zayn got traded to SmackDown. Incredible joy is sarcasm, by the way, because I have been incredibly disliked Sami Zayn's Raw run, and hopefully they can write his promos a little bit better so he doesn't sound like such an arrogant, entitled individual.
Yeah, I think they will.
Mm.
I think Ward is a lot better than most of the promo people on Raw. Although Jimmy Jacobs is pretty good, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, I get the feeling he's mostly ignored.
Mm-hmm.
But so yes, I think Sammy will hopefully be better on SmackDown. Um,
And then there's the wonderment that is our hero, Baron Corbin.
another guy who, when he first came up, people, including myself, were meh on,
Mm-hmm.
who has also turned into an ass-kicking giant of awesomeness.
Mm-hmm. He is so capable of promos. That's the thing that people did not realize about Baron, is that when this guy talks, he is capable of articulating himself in 6 syllables or more as to why he hates you, why you should go back to your little indie hole. And
why you
all
should
of these
never bug
indie
him again.
workers who are now on SmackDown are making him furious.
Yes, he wants what's his. I mean, how he wants what's his, and he ain't gonna sell for it. He is mad at all you indie geeks stealing his spot that he was entitled.
Mm-hmm. And what basically happened is that this past week on SmackDown, he got suspended for a week for pushing an official on Talking Smack.
Yep. And who cares? And he's like, "What? You're gonna suspend me? Who cares? Just pay me."
Yeah. And what this might eventually lead to is Corbin might eventually murder Shane.
Oh Lord, that would be awesome. Like, I'm sorry, Shane, but it's for Corbin. Come on now.
Okay, you got destroyed by AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Now you need to put over the young guy.
Which, I'll give Vince this much. Him and his family, they very rarely book themselves to always go over, except for Triple H, but, he married in, so he doesn't count.
And also, he lost this WrestleMania.
Yes. But, yes, I will give the McMahons this. Most wrestling bookers and promoters, they are nepotistic to the extreme. Vince, he's willing to let himself get humiliated and geeked to put his talent over. Because at the end of the day, he cares about one thing: making money.
Yes, making money. That's a facet that a lot of people seem to forget about the Vince McMahon, is that he likes making money.
Yes.
If you're making money for him, that is a major positive.
Yep, and that's probably why we won't see Roman turn heel, because he does good merch sales apparently. But
the merchandise,
big merch. I love that nickname. I think who gave it to him? I think it was Tanya.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it started on Up, Up, Down, Down. Xavier gave him the nickname, and it was popularized by Tanya.
Yes. Oh, Lord, I love that nickname for him. Big merch. That's great. But yeah, I think Baron Corbin is really good. I think Shane getting killed by him will be fun. I also think he draws an interesting parallel to Braun in that, both really big guys who a lot of people at the beginning, myself included, didn't think would have much would be done with them or they wouldn't be very good, and who are now both very good in very big parts of their shows. So
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. All these people who are on the independent circuit, who are fans of independent wrestlers, have been screaming from the rooftops for years as to why do you keep bringing in these ex-powerlifters and football players? Why can't you just sign independent workers? Because sometimes the independent workers aren't as good as the guys that they actually bring in from under industries.
yeah, sometimes that is very true. I mean, hey guys, everyone who ever says that, guess what? Big E, he used to be a football player.
Yes, fairly
He,
good football player until his knees gave out, and then
yeah,
he switched over to professional wrestling.
yeah. I mean, there are some very good people who have shifted over from other industries. I mean, guess what? Stan Hansen, one of the greatest professional wrestlers ever, he started playing football. He never wanted to be a wrestler at first. He started at football and he
Hmm.
switched over to wrestling.
Or one of the greatest African American talents, Big Cat Ernie Ladd.
Yes.
He was a football player.
Yes, who'd switched over to wrestling, made a crap ton of money, and was amazing.
Yes.
It's like I think you need both indie guys and football guys and like other guys. You need a little bit of everything because the indies are great and I think they should be included. I think that should make up a good chunk of it, but you also need to augment it with some other guys, because it'll give it a bit of a freshness to it.
Yeah. And also, the independent scene is a bit, what would you call it? Homogenized,
Oh,
hot,
homogenized?
homogenized. Yeah.
Homogenized, yeah.
Yeah. Homogenized. It's a little homogenized. You've got guys, you've got dudes with long hair and black trunks, other dudes in short hair and black trunks.
Yeah.
There's a little bit too few variety right now in the independent scene, whereas you really need to stand out.
Yes. And that's why the guys who do stand out on the independent scene, people are clamoring for them to go to WWE,
Mm-hmm.
which I find ironic.
Yeah.
It's like, here's this guy who stands out on the independent scene. Let's send him over to WWE, which, I mean, you obviously want him to end up in the big leagues to make the most money and succeed the most, but,
Yeah, but at the same time, there needs to be a hook there. Otherwise, you're only going to be spending like 6 months in NXT, and then you might get released if you don't have a hook and you don't have a gimmick.
Yep.
Work rate is good and all, but we're shifting to the point where promos are becoming just as important as work rate as far as the company is concerned again.
Yes. That's honestly what has been happening. It used to be, like the 80s into the 90s. Like the 80s, it was all pretty much promos. You had some work rate, but in WWE, it was promos. Hulk Hogan could go. He never had to go because he could cut a great promo. You know, the early 90s, you had guys like Shawn and Brett putting on some really good work rate matches. That was also when WWE was doing really bad business.
Yeah.
Then you had the Attitude Era, which was just crash TV and promos and not a lot of work rate. Then you had the Ruthless Aggression Era, which was a lot of work rate, which did some pretty good numbers. But you also had some really good promo people.
Yeah. That was the era when you had Heyman, you had Greenfield, you had all those guys doing all of these wonderful segments, that really carried the show into the Ruthless Aggression era. And then we had the Reality era, which, has sort of started to bring the promos back into popularity.
Yes. And, it's been good. I mean, sometimes the promos aren't great, but look at SmackDown. SmackDown is pretty much a neo Memphis wrestling. With they have the guys who can go and do work rate, but their main strength is the promos. Raw is more of the work rate show, and ironically, it's the one that like the more indie-rific crowd doesn't like as much.
Yes, because they have to, survive with 15-minute long Seth Rollins matches. So,
Yeah. God bless you guys.
God bless you guys. I mean, for those who are fans of Seth Rollins, I mean, this must be difficult for them. The guy beat Triple H. Now he has to face Samoa Joe at Payback.
Yes, it sort of feels backwards, like, wait, you just beat the main boss and now you're going up against his lackey?
Hmm.
And I mean, I get it as far as the timing goes, because he beat Triple H at Mania, which is their biggest show of the year, and he was hurt before it, so I get that.
Hmm.
But as far as the narrative structure goes, it's a little weird, but it's fine. And I think Samoa Joe will be very good, and I hope he destroys Seth.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Samoa Joe has just been absolutely awesome since he debuted on Monday Night Raw.
Yep,
He's brought promos into Raw again.
yep,
Just his ability to speak and his ability to be so intimidating works for him.
yep. It's something we all needed. Him and one other person who we will get to later have brought promos back to Raw.
Oh, yes, we will talk about her soon enough. One who
Yes.
does not really get enough credit for her work. But first, let's talk about. We talked about them a little earlier, the tag team division. We have the Hardy Boys facing against Team Swiss and Limes.
Yes.
Cesaro and Sheamus. How do you feel about this match?
I'm going to like it, I think. I think their styles will mesh well, The Hardys really high flying. Sheamus and Cesaro are very brawlery, so I think it'll be a nice contrast. I think it'll be fun. I'm interested in where they go with it because at the end of Raw this week they kind of teased a bit of Sheamus and Cesaro like maybe sort of turning heel. Although there's also rumors WWE's buying the broken gimmick, so I could see the Hardys losing the belts and becoming broken. There's a lot of ways you could go with this, and that actually has me somewhat intrigued. I like Sheamus and Cesaro, and I think it'll be fun.
I mean, let's face it, WWE just basically bought the broken gimmick from Anaheim for $1.
Yes. Yep. Which,
A
it's
dollar
a
and a
dollar
bag
more.
of chips.
Yes. It's a dollar in a bag of chips more than they had.
Hmm. Yeah. So basically, I have said before in the past on Speaks that the broken gimmick is something that I'm normally a fan of wacky gimmicks. The broken gimmick is one of the few that hasn't really clicked with me. Hopefully in WWE, this will actually click with me. This whole broken universe of Matt Hardy acting like Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show and Jeff Hardy being Igor.
Yes.
Because Jeff Hardy being Igor is actually his best role ever.
Yes. Oh, Lord. But no, I know you don't really care for them or didn't care for them in TNA. I really like them. I find them wacky and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
On a somewhat ironic level, I'll be completely honest, but I still love them to death. So, half of one, 6 dozen of the other, but half of one, or 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Good Lord, I botched that saying.
But like the idea that the Hardys are in WWE again, they had the biggest pop at WrestleMania, not just for their return.
Oh,
And the
Lord,
fact that
yes.
WWE is starting to embrace the broken gimmick because they bought it, like we said, for $1 and some chips.
Yep. Yeah.
And
So,
maybe a 20-ounce soda in between as far as contract negotiations concerned.
no, I think. Well, I mean, it's Jeff who's probably doing Jeff Jarrett who's probably doing the contract negotiations. I mean, come on now, he's asking for some alcohol, Fizzy.
Oh, no, I think he'd probably be asking for guitars.
Yep. Or maybe some dimes that he never drew.
Funny thing, I actually have a dime on my desk here. And that drew more than Jeff Jarrett did, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course. Your desk, Drew, is a bigger draw than Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Fizzy's old 1920s oak desk that was salvaged out of a machine shop is better than Jeff Jarrett at this point.
Oh, I'm sure Velvet Bulldozer will love this if he ever hears it. Come on, man. Come on. Tell us why we're wrong and why Tiana is awesome. I'm sure I'll listen to you.
I mean, look, I like TNA. I've been like my first exposure to watching wrestling on a regular basis was watching TNA, but I just understand the chaos and the madness that is this promotion, okay? They are the Donner Party of professional wrestling for a reason.
Yes. They survived despite everything telling them they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And they have so much tragedy, chaos, heartbreak, and just, stupidity amongst them.
Plus random acts of cannibalism and demonic possession.
Yes, of course. Come on now. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna like the Hardys and Shinsuke. So
Yeah, I'm honestly, on board with the Cesaro and Sheamus tag team. Their gear is becoming more in sync with being an actual tag team.
I
They've
love their
removed the
kilts.
petty bickering part of it, and also the kilts.
Oh God, their kilts.
Mhm.
That is amazing. I remember seeing Sheamus like he took his shirt off like when he was getting ready for it, but he didn't take the kilt off yet.
Mhm.
That was one hell of an image, and I say this like with no irony whatsoever. That looked awesome.
Mhm.
Seeing Sheamus in a kilt with like his abs and his biceps. Good lord, that was an image, and I think that was like so badass.
Mhm.
But
So, speaking of people who are, awesome looking, but also kind of scary, bring me my crown.
yes, Neville, King of the Cruiserweights, is still awesome.
And he has to face Austin Aries again, which is less awesome, but it will lead to at least a good match.
Yes, it was a good match last time. It'll be a good match this time.
With
I
the added addition of some of the other cruiserweights that are going to probably interfere in this match.
I mean, I do like Jack Gallagher, so him interfering, I wouldn't really mind.
Mhm.
It's the other one interfering that I would somewhat mind.
Video games, one up, one up. I'm a heel now, by the way.
Yep. Now, I've said this in the daily before. People who have said, I don't think his music, I think his music should have changed. He's a heel now. Keep something in mind. TJ Perkins' theme music, it's based off of Dr. Wily's theme, Dr. Wily Stage's theme from Mega Man 2. Dr. Wily is the main villain in that game. That is a main villain stage theme. I'm willing to give that a pass. Just something to think about. I won't say you're right or wrong, but I can sort of see like why they wouldn't give him a new theme. Something I will not defend TJ for is doing his same damn entrance now that he's a heel. Just the twirl, the little dab thing. It's like you're a heel now, dude. Come on, you got to change your mannerisms. I don't know about you, but if I'm a heel, I'm not going to do that twirl, dab, like punch, knee thing. I'm just going to run to the ring all pissed off and huffing.
Mhm. I don't understand it at all in the first place because even though I am 25 years old, I have no idea about the culture and the memes of my generation.
Yeah.
And I understand that dab is apparently a drug reference of some sort, but like,
It was a thing Cam Newton did like 2 years ago, and that I thought would die by now.
but apparently CJP revived its corpse.
Yeah, either that or he's still trying to keep it alive, and it's really dead, but he's just keeping the corpse with him. I have no idea. It's just stupid. So
Yeah. But he's now healed, so we can now actively boo him. And
yes, it will give him some direction.
mhm. Now, if we could get rid of Austin Aries and that banana, we can be, really, really good at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, like I've mentioned this before. Please do not make any sexual innuendo things with Austin Aries around. Okay, we're trying to still recover from his incident in TNA.
Yeah. I really don't think we need to do any sexual alluding with Austin. I mean, I do think he has repented for it. I hope he's repented for it. I think he has, but
If he hasn't, the Wacky World inflatable tube men certainly forced him into repenting for
yes,
it.
yes. It's just one of those things where it's like it ain't a good look to remind us of all of that. So, but I think Austin Aries has been pretty good. So
And then, of course, Akira Tozawa, Mustafa
oh,
Ali, all those guys have been awesome.
Tozawa and Ali are two of my favorites right now, along with Gentleman Jack. Mustafa Ali is someone I have a lot of respect for. You know, because he goes out there and he has great matches and does a lot of stuff. And he's one of those things where I'll say, hey, look, WWE, you're not completely clueless. You can get, a foreigner babyface right, even though I think he was born in Chicago, but,
Yeah.
Swings and roundabouts. They're billing him as if he was a foreigner or a descendant of a foreigner. I won't say that absolves WWE of all their sins just because they're getting one right, but it shows me that you can do this.
Yeah.
So.
You can do this. I mean, Ali actually does the babyface gimmick better than Zayn does.
Yes, he does. With Sami Zayn, I feel like he's try hard earnest. Like he isn't really earnest or likable, but he's trying to convince people that he is.
Mhm.
With Mustafa Ali, I get the feeling, yeah, here's an earnest guy who's trying his hardest to, be accepted by people. He's not gonna pay attention to people who give him too much crap, but he just wants to, people to like him because he wants to like other people. It's like, I like this guy. Here's a guy I can get along with. He just wants to be accepted, and we should accept him. And people who wouldn't, you're kind of jerks. Well,
Yeah.
you are jerks.
Yeah, I accept him 100%. I enjoy Mustafa Ali's work. I enjoy his culture. I enjoy culture, folks. Okay? I don't care what culture you're from. I enjoy it because of my education. I watched travel guides and videos about other cultures all the time, and I wanted to learn more about it.
Yep. And that's the thing with Mustafa Ali. I think he's a really good guy. I think he's very talented. I think he's a positive role model for people, who might be struggling. So if that's your thing, that's even more good news. But that's the thing with Mustafa.
He's a good role model for some people, and during this time of just uncertainty, unrest, and people yelling at about 1,000,000 miles per hour, that's a good thing.
Yep.
And the cruiserweight match will be really good. I think it will be very hit interference heavy this time around because they're still setting up stories for the cruiserweight division, and then we have the women's division.
Yep. Oh joy.
Let's see here. Which one do we want? Which issue do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk SmackDown side or Raw side first?
Let's get the bad out of the way and talk SmackDown.
Okay.
I don't like the rumor we've been hearing that they're going to make Charlotte top face. And I have nothing against Charlotte. It's just Naomi's been killing in this role. I don't think we need to change that.
But what do you do with Charlotte then?
Make her a heel. I mean, she's a better heel than a face, I feel.
I think, honestly, I'm for this face push.
I wouldn't make her top face, though. At least not while Naomi is still over. That's the only issue. It's like
the thing is they want the crowd to like two faces. They want the ethnic crowd to like Naomi, but they also want the predominantly white crowd to cheer for Charlotte.
I guess the issue I have with that is that the white crowd does like Naomi, though, so it sort of seems like you're unnecessarily segregating them. Like,
Sure.
I get what you're saying. It just seems like an unnecessary move.
They want their chocolate and their vanilla. They want chocolate and vanilla on, their ice cream. They want both, but at the same time, they don't realize exactly what kind of sacrifices they need to make in order to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just chuckling about this because from what people seem to be implying, they think that Becky Lynch is going to turn heel.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that, just to try and get Charlotte really cheered, and that Becky's the leader of the New Women's Order or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, here's the thing with the NWS or NWO.
Yep.
Natalya, not particularly interested.
No.
Carmella, like her. I really like Carmella. She's got that edge of, oh my god, this girl could break people in half.
Yeah. Carmella, I think, is okay. I think Ellsworth helps her a lot, though, because Jimmy Dream's just amazing.
He is such a great mouthpiece. He's such a great promo for and it helps Carmella's character as this sort of backstabbing, destructive individual who could literally take any opportunity to break your leg with a hammer.
Yep. It also helps that she's taking advantage of Jimmy Dream so much.
Well, it's a mutual relationship. They're both taking advantage of each other because Jimmy Dream suddenly realized that his place on the SmackDown roster was in jeopardy, so he tags along with Carmella.
Yep.
Carmella also realizes that her place on the SmackDown women's roster is also at risk, so it's a mutual relationship of protection.
Yep. Yeah. And then And then Daniel Bryan just really realizes he needs to keep James Ellsworth.
Yeah, because
I
that's his
love,
project.
oh, I love that when he said that. Like, we need to make sure we keep James Ellsworth, like during the shakeup. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, well, he wanted to keep his personal project in addition, just to keep things sane while
Yeah.
Arizona inevitably waits for the national emergency service that is Bree mode.
Yep. Yep. And hopefully everything goes well with her and her baby whenever, because the baby's due any day now.
Yes.
Congratulations to Daniel and Bree, by the way. Good for you guys. Whenever it comes out, more congratulations then.
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yep, and thankfully, Daniel's GM role gives him plenty of money to pay for all the busted windows and national monuments that will be destroyed when Bree mode is activated.
Yep. Oh, come on. We can't be too hard on her.
Oh no! People underestimate the power of Bree mode.
Of course they do. Just like they underestimated Cam Tierney about Ty getting called up.
Yes.
The crater stopped right before my house, Fizzy.
Yes. I mean,
Uh,
I am completely fine with turning Charlotte face because she's been heel for several years now, and I think it's time for a change in her character. And besides, she's going to be carrying the work rate on this show because if people haven't realized this, Charlotte's actually become fairly solid as a ring worker.
yes. No, she will shore up the work rate. That I agree with.
Mhm. I mean, her promo segments will be slightly questionable because of, her vocal tone can go from quiet as a mouse to screaming at the top of her lungs in like 5 seconds.
It also doesn't help, and I think Things and Stuff actually put this to best. She speaks in sentence fragments, and it comes off as very robotic.
Yes.
I think she needs to work on that. Although I do think if she does turn face, that'll help her because heels traditionally take up most of the promo time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
whereas she could basically be this giant walking mass of muscle that literally will end you. Because I don't compare Charlotte to her dad. I compare her to Kevin Nash.
that's actually not a bad comparison, except that Charlotte's far more athletic and can do more.
Yeah. She does a kick. She does a moonsault, which Kevin would never dream of attempting in all of his years of profession unless they gave him extra money to do so.
Of course. Kevin Nash was smart. I mean, he was incredibly. I don't want to be too mean because, but he was greedy to an extent. I feel like that's the wrong word. But he always looked out after number one, I feel like is a better way to put it.
Yeah. He looked after himself, he looked after the clique. He looked after everybody, so that he could be the guy that benefit from being in charge.
Yes. So
this is a guy that graduated, I think he's from Harvard.
Is he from Harvard?
I believe he is. But like the idea that that's Charlotte is bad for the SmackDown Women's Division is completely weird to me because I think that she's a perfect fit for it. And you also have Tamina, who's perfect as the muscle for the group.
Yes. If Charlotte doesn't turn heel, I think her becoming the leader of the NWO, the New Women's Order.
No, actually, it's University of Tennessee.
Okay,
but that's still a really good program to end up in.
Yeah.
It actually ended up on the Tennessee Volunteers basketball team.
Huh. I could see him playing basketball. The dude's giant.
Yeah, he was a really good basketball player before he became a professional wrestler.
Well, there you go. So yeah, no, I think the Charlotte stuff's interesting. I think there's a lot of ways you could go with it. It's just, Tamina's been gone for a while, so it won't bury her too bad because, she's just getting back and this does give her something to do. And I think she can be interesting. Natty, God bless her, I don't care about her. She's just meh.
She's crazy cat lady.
Yeah, that's really her gimmick. And Carmella, I think Jimmy Dream carries her for me, so. I don't think she's bad, but Jimmy definitely carries her. So.
I mean, she does need to get better reactions. That's the one major. That's the one major issue that she's having right now. Is that she's the daughter of a carpenter, and she's getting carpenter reactions now.
Yeah. Hell, even carpenters get reactions when they're getting killed. She just gets nothing.
Yeah. but like I think that this will definitely help her this stable. But like back
Yeah.
to the Becky Lynch is an evil mastermind thing. I'm like, okay, first and foremost, she's not Vita Scott. She's not this evil, diabolical mastermind. I mean, if they're going to portray her as this intelligent, evil character, it's going to really change up what we have thought of Becky Lynch's character up until this point, because she's basically been a follower.
Yeah.
You know, a follower who does bad puns and breaks people's arms.
Yeah. I think it would be a decent change though, considering up till now Becky's character hasn't really resonated with anyone to any degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the change could be good if they do decide to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, they could
But,
really
you
they
know,
could really make this work if they could, but I just
yeah.
don't see it. Besides the fact that there are also rumors about a certain other lady of professional wrestling coming to WWE and most likely ending up on the SmackDown brand. And that lady is Maria Kanellis.
Oh yes. Her and Mike Bennett.
Oh my goodness. Maria Kanellis has totally reinvented herself over the last several years.
Yeah. She's awesome. Her husband is meh.
Meh, but you need a team mascot. You need somebody that
Yeah.
gets murdered. That has to do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
So
You know, you need someone to make you look even better. Although,
Mhm.
you know.
And like Maria carried the TNA Knockouts division on her back for the last year with her promo segments and introducing all of the characters that were down there.
Yep.
And now going into WWE possibly again with either going into NXT or going to SmackDown. I think that Maria is a great fit again because it basically continues the story of all of these former Divas division wrestlers coming back into the main roster, and they're totally different from what we knew of them at first.
Yeah.
Okay, no one expected Maurice to become the Miz's Muscle.
No one expected that, but oh Lord, is it great? I love
Yeah.
you, Maurice.
And also, Nikki Bella going from, oh, she's just a model with her twin sister to Queen of Strong Style.
Yep, the Queen of Kings Road, as Ved likes to say, Vidance or Vidance,
Yeah.
however you say that,
Mhm.
which I think is a great name for her.
Mhm.
So,
And she didn't have to reinvent herself, like we said before, about her on Speaks. She reinvented herself.
she did it because she wanted to, and she wanted to be great at wrestling. Not because, she didn't have to do it. She wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So, people who say, oh, she's not a good wrestler, she doesn't care about wrestling, she's sending the women's division back, bite me. Bite me.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
But like I'm for a Becky Lynch heel turn. I'm not sure this mastermind character is necessarily her thing. I know she was a former manager down at Shimmer, a promotion that may or may not exist due to its slow release schedule of its DVDs.
Yes. I do think a change is needed with Becky, though.
Yeah, I do think that. Well, I generally think of her as a heel anyway, because of the fact that the Four Horsewomen is basically a heel stable.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, Charlotte was a heel. Sasha is really good as a heel, although she's also really good as a face. She's kind of like Eddie Guerrero in that regard, her idol.
Yeah.
She was great as a heel and a face. Bailey, we'll get to her in a minute. Oh, God bless her. And Becky, wasn't she a heel with like
Sasha? Yes, she was a heel with Sasha.
Yeah, well, not even before that. Back on the Indies, wasn't she like a heel manager for?
Yes, for the Night Dynasty.
Yes, for the Night Dynasty. Yeah, so she can be a really good heel. I think it'll work. I just don't think her character right now. Well, one, I don't even know if she has a character right now other than puns.
Puns and cosplaying as video game characters. It took me a while to get the reference though, because I don't play a lot of the modern games. Like,
who is she?
She was cosplaying as the main character from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That might be it. I'm not sure. And yeah, we're probably gonna get totally crapped on by all the Becky stands.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I was gonna be like,
Okay, look. Here's the thing. Becky stands. I understand that you really like Becky Lynch. I just don't care for her as much as you guys do. You guys do what you do, which is love Becky Lynch the way you do, which will probably end up in about 50,000 restraining orders, okay?
yes. I was gonna. Oh, you love her how you love her, slightly unhealthily and probably a bit too much. And here, before anyone comes at me with flames and pitchforks and all that, let me tell you something. Becky Lynch, she's probably one of my favorite people out of the entire women's division on either roster. But guess what? I know it isn't working. A lot of people know it isn't working. It's okay to change things when they aren't working. And before people say, oh, she's getting buried, she doesn't have the belt, she needs the belt, she needs the belt, she needs the belt. Not everyone needs the belt.
Mhm.
Becky does not need the belt. It's okay. It'll be fine. I promise all of you, it'll be fine.
And the
Or don't
person,
listen to me. Whatever. I don't care.
and the person who has the belt right now is Naomi, and everybody's now panicking about Naomi getting buried, and I think she'll be fine.
I hope she'll be fine. I think she will be. I think she's really talented, and even if she doesn't have the belt, I think she will be fine.
Yeah, I
So
think, she's great as a babyface. She's found that babyface fire. She's found a gimmick that works for her, the Feel the Glow thing, where she's a crazed raver.
oh Lord, yes. She is so good. I mean, she's really human, so I think that she really connects with a lot of people. So I like her a lot.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, if Charlotte gets the belt, we're going to have a week where people rage about Charlotte getting the belt against Naomi.
Yeah.
But, okay, after that, who knows? Will Becky get the belt as a heel against Charlotte? Will Naomi keep the belt? And it will just be a feud between Charlotte and Becky? Who
Who
knows?
knows? Yeah, who knows? Hopefully it'll be good, whatever it goes. Sometimes you gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I think people are really I also like the idea of Becky just being basically this old retired gunslinger who's going, meh, I can't care about this anymore. I did enough good, but it's just I still haven't cleaned out all the bad.
Yes, I do like that. I do like that development that happened on Talking Smack. So, and I think that's a great way to sort of turn her heel. She's just like, I can't care anymore. I tried to be this good person, this noble person. Meh.
Meh, I'm gonna go work on my puns.
Yes, I'm gonna go work on my puns. Yep.
And now we will focus our attention on the Raw Women's Division. Okay, so we have Emma, who's as interesting as a loaf of bread. Nia Jax, who's also there. Alicia Fox has recently returned to the division. Dana Brooks is also there. And then we have the main free duo. Sasha Banks, who's working a character that doesn't really work for her.
Yep.
Bailey, who's I really am not sure how to describe it. I'll let Sal do that.
Yeah, I'll do that soon enough. And we have Alexa, the saving grace of the division.
I remember when the Superstar shakeup happened and when the word Alexa Bliss and Nikki James were going over to Raw, the reaction was, oh, why those two? Why can't it just be Bailey holding the belt for X times Affinity?
Oh, Lord. Yes. So let's talk about Bailey. Bailey, I want to like you. I think you're still pretty good. God bless you, but you really aren't very good at promos on Raw. I don't know if that's your fault, if that's the writer's fault. But watching Alexa Bliss on Raw and Bailey in that promo segment, Alexa Bliss out promoed circles around Bailey. It was quite scary, and it made me feel like if Alexa wasn't here, this segment would be so bad. I think Sasha, like you said, she's trying to play this gimmick. I don't really know if it's working. It's kind of just meh. For me, it's like, what is the end game here? Is Sasha turning heel on Bailey, or is I don't know what's going on.
I think what they're trying to do is a babyface version of Lay Cool with Bailey and Sasha.
that doesn't work though, because Lay Cool were heels, because having two best friends who help each other win matches, that's sort of a heel thing.
Gee, and guess what Sasha and Bailey are doing?
Yeah, Sasha's helping Bailey win matches. I mean, it's just it doesn't really feel right. I don't know. I think if they do turn Sasha heel and have that as their second, I think they should one give Alexa the belt and have her feud with someone. I don't
Mickey
know.
James, because
Well,
Mickey
yeah,
James is the feud
yes,
from SmackDown.
yes. Continue that feud. Have Little Miss Bliss. Oh Lord, how I love her. She is so good. Her facial expressions. But yeah, have that feud continue, and then you have Sasha and Bailey do their feud, and then you also have Emma and Dana doing their thing. So I mean, you could actually have three separate women's feuds going on at the same time, which would actually be pretty good for people who want more women's feuds. So there you go.
I mean, here's the thing. Emma as a character just really disinterests me, because this is the third variation of the "look at me" character that she has done over the last several years.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
cosplaying this time as Jace from Dragon Ball Z. Okay, with the shoulder pads and the glasses, I'm like,
Oh
is Emma
Lord,
trying out for the Ginyu Force?
yes, she totally is. Oh Lord, she is. I totally didn't see that until you just mentioned it. She is so totally Jace from
Yeah.
the Ginyu Force.
And for those who don't know, Jace had an Australian accent in the Funimation and Ocean's dub of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Oh Lord. He had long hair, wore the big shoulder pad thing. Oh Lord, she is so totally a female version of Jace from Dragon Ball Z.
So when I look at Emma, I don't view her as, oh, look at her, she's hot. I'm like, oh God, she's cosplaying as a dime store version of Jace from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Yes. I wonder what that makes Dana. Goldo?
I would probably say she's Raccoon.
Raccoon. Oh God. Oh Lord. I could so totally see that.
Yeah.
Just this really beefy, muscly person, because she is like a power lifter.
Yeah. She is a bodybuilder.
Yeah. But, gets axed off pretty quick. Yeah. Yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah. One punch to Goku. That was the thing that fell Raccoon there after having a really good showing against Vegeta.
Yeah. I'd say maybe Nappa, but that would be more. Nah.
That Dana isn't a Nappa type character.
Yeah. Need a Nappa.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no. So I think the Raw division has some good ways it can go. I think the SmackDown division has some good ways to go. I'm looking forward to Bailey, Alexa, and I hope Alexa wins.
Oh my goodness! Here's the thing. People had been really kind of down on Alexa Bliss since her NXT days. They're like, oh, she's not a good ring worker. Well, here's the important thing that we mentioned earlier about promos. Alexa looked at the promos like a giant stuffed animal at the country fair that you win at one of those prize machines.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at it with her beady big eyes, staring at it, the bear realizing that she was literally piercing into its soul.
Yes.
Stuffed bears had souls. She won the thing by destroying the prize machine, of course.
Of course.
And drags that bear metaphorically kicking and screaming
Yes.
back to the world of professional wrestling, and that bear is called promos.
Yes.
Okay, let us note the feat of which thy Alexa Bliss, the Pixie Hulk, has done on Monday Night Raw. She shut down the what chant.
Yes. The one chant that Stone Cold should never have brought into this world. Come on, man.
The one chant that has tripped up every single professional wrestler except for Undertaker and a few others.
Yep.
Little Alexa Bliss looked at that chant and went, oh, no. I got something for you.
No. She just went and looked at it and said, rude.
Yeah.
That is what she did to it. She just went rude to it, shut it up, destroyed it, threw it off a pier, and burned it. You will never chant. I honestly hope more people try chanting "what" at Alexa so she can shut you idiots down too.
Yeah.
Don't chant "what" at Alexa. You won't win. She will win. She wins. You lose. The end. Good day, sir.
And she's also getting into the whole, oh my God, the Sasha Alexa shoot fights.
Oh Lord, someone's going to die, and it will be amazing. Slightly
I,
sad, but amazing.
I mean, just the amount of energy and effort that Sasha puts into literally hating every fiber of Alexa's being. Some of it
Oh
legitimate, some of it not.
yes. Oh Lord, one of those two is going to die, Fizzy. You know, like the only reason I wouldn't have put Alexa on Raw is because I'm worried her and Sasha are going to kill each other. Not because I don't think Alexa would be a good fit, but because I don't want you two killing each other. Don't make me come back there and stop you two from killing each other. Not that I could. You'd probably kill me first, but
And I'd be out of a co-host, so thanks a lot, Sasha and Alexa.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I know where I'm not supposed to go, and it's, you know, I think I feel safer like anywhere but in between the two of them. I think I'd feel safer next to like toxic waste or in the nuclear blast
And
radius.
it's funny. It's funny that people say that Alexa Bliss doesn't have presence. Alexa is far scarier than Nia Jax is.
Yes,
This is a girl that basically radiates Mark Henry levels of hate and destruction.
yes. She is like what, 5 foot tall?
Yes.
Yeah. And she has more of a presence, and God bless Nia. I don't think she's a bad person. I think Nia Jax is a very nice person. She has like at least 10 times more presence than Nia Jax. At least. And she's like, what, a foot shorter, foot and a few inches shorter than her?
Yeah.
You
But
know,
that foot and a few inches shorter is packed with muscle.
yes. Well, even not just even muscle, just far more presence and ring awareness and like well, not ring awareness, but just presence. She knows what she is. She's like she commands your attention. Nia doesn't really do that.
It's like she waves and goes, "Hi, I'm Nia Jax. I'm here to
Yeah,
destroy you tonight."
yeah. I think Nia Jax needs to study people like Bull Nakano, Aja Khan.
Her own
China.
co-worker.
Yes, Alexa. Talk to them, ask them, how do you get this presence and, try and figure it out. Because I think there was a lot of upside with Naya. I think she's a wonderful human being who, on social media and stuff, she portrays a lot of positivity and is a good role model for people.
Yeah, she's a great role model for body positivity, and that is a great thing that she is promoting. Because it also brings back the kind of wrestlers that I see as actual wrestlers.
Yes.
Big, scary individuals who looks like they just got out of the steel mill that day.
Yes. You also see a lot of them down in CMLL.
Yeah,
They look like human beings. They don't look like models.
yeah.
So,
Or heck, look at NXT.
yeah. Again, not that there's necessarily anything wrong with using models, but
Yeah, you need a mix. You need a
yeah.
mix of both, oh, here's a person who's skinny, here's a person who's built with about 1,000 muscles on him, and then there's the big guy over there who looks like that looks like he could eat you for dinner.
Yes, we need all of them to make this work. I
Yeah.
mean.
You need your Killian Danes to match up with your Roderick Strongs and your Alamos wrestlers.
Yeah. You need to have a big show like back, when he was bigger and not like toned down. You needed him. You needed like a guy who's jacked to the gills like Triple H. You need someone who's a bit smaller like a Rey Mysterio back then. You need everybody.
Yeah, variety is one of the most important facets of professional wrestling besides good booking and everything else that comes with it.
Yep.
And the women's division right now, it looks like that both sides are actually looking fairly good,
Yeah.
And the thing is that with Bayley, she's a great professional wrestler, apart from the promos, which, okay, she goes into the weird after-school poetry, and
No,
I
don't
mean,
remind me of that.
I mean,
Don't remind me of that.
I think that Bailey would do great, and this is going to sound odd. While I don't necessarily know if the Becky Lynch heel idea is going to work, I certainly think a Bailey heel turn would work.
Oh, yes, it could. I mean, we saw that with the Snickers commercial.
Hug you!
Yes. I honestly think Bailey could work as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they should turn her heel. I honestly can't tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's still beloved by a lot of people and for good reason, but
Yes,
there is
the day
potential
that
there.
Bailey turns heel is the day that Izzy will learn how to swear.
Yes. Oh no, if Bailey turns heel, I think Izzy will just get so jaded with life, will just get so jaded. And when she becomes a wrestler, she'll just take it out on everyone.
Mm-hmm. You were my idol. Then you turned heel.
Yes.
I'm going to end you now.
Yes, exactly. Oh man, I hope that is like Izzy's entrance story if she ever does become a wrestler and works for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like have a Bailey heel turn somewhere. Izzy comes in and attacks her, and she's like, "Remember me, Bailey? You were my idol." And then you turned your back on all of us, so I must end you. That would be great.
I mean, she already is basically working for WWE at this point. She's their best talent scout.
Yes. No, she's pretty much like someone that WWE can like promote the hell out of as an awesome fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah.
And she actually has an eye for talent.
Of course she does. She goes to NXT every week.
Every NXT wrestler that has been pushed thus far is because Izzy noticed them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just don't leave her around Almas. Good lord. She doesn't need to see that stuff yet. She's only like what, 10?
11.
Yeah, no, don't leave her around Almas. Please don't leave her around Almas.
But like, okay, NXT is finally getting back on good graces, which is awesome to see.
Yep. I haven't watched the most recent episode yet, but I did watch the episode before that.
Mm-hmm.
That Oni Drew sprint of a match was awesome.
Yeah. And the thing is that another important thing that we need to stress about here is this. There are going to be ebbs and flows in your favorite wrestling show.
Yep.
You can't go the extreme route. This sucks. This is bad. I'm going to pout about it for weeks on end. Ebbs and flows like this are natural in television. Not every week is going to be a good episode. Manage your expectations.
Yep.
If you go from one extreme to the next, you're going to really burn yourself out as a professional wrestling fan.
Yeah. And it's okay to take a break if you aren't enjoying something.
Yeah.
I want to stress this to you guys. I won't tell you what to do with your time because that's your decision. I will just heavily recommend if you get to a point where you really aren't enjoying something, it's okay to leave it. Like, unless it's like your job or something and you need to, make money at it so you can support yourself, that's one thing. But like if you're like watching wrestling and it's like, I'm really not enjoying this product, it's fine to not watch it.
Exactly.
No one will think any less of you.
Yeah, no one will think any less of you for, I see people all the time being super fanatical about their fandoms because it feels like it's the only thing that is worthwhile in their life. But the thing is you need to manage this properly. Get yourself invested into other things to be interested in. I'm not just a fan of professional wrestling, okay? I've branched off into professional sumo. I branched off into NASCAR. NASCAR was my original fandom. I watch strongman competitions, old World's Strongest Man competitions. I branch off into other things. I watch anime. Me and Sal have 5-hour-long conversations about Japanese anime off air.
Yes. Yes. And that is awesome because anime is awesome. And, same thing here. I love anime. I love hockey. I love football. I have other things.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to take a break from something if it isn't doing something for you. I mean, heck, I'm taking a bit of a break from the anime this season. There aren't too many I like. I'm not going to go and complain, So I'm just rewatching old stuff, taking a break from the new stuff. It's okay.
So, do you have any final thoughts before we close out here?
I am looking forward to Payback. I think it should be a pretty good show. A lot of the matches look like they'll be at least decent. I'm curious where they go. I'm really looking forward to the Sumo Bowl show, but that's still a bit away. But ooh, that's gonna be good.
The Bansuke for that basho will be officially released on May 1st.
Oof, yes. So that'll be awesome. And I think, if any of you guys are ever interested in sumo, ever interested in getting into it, come back 2 weeks later and we will give you a great prepper for it.
Yep, we will be giving you an amateur look because we aren't exactly professional fans of sumo wrestling at the world of sumo wrestling.
So that'll
And
be something to look forward to.
mhm.
Yeah. I think Payback will be good. I think out of all the matches, just looking at them really quick, I think Braun and Roman will probably be the best in terms of like in ring stuff, mainly because those two are just going to kill the absolute hell out of each other.
Yeah,
But I think it'll be a good show. How are you feeling about it, Fizzy?
I am honestly looking forward to Payback because here's the thing about me when it comes to WWE pay-per-views. I generally like the B shows and the so-called C shows better than the A shows. I usually have slightly higher expectations, like about a 0.5% higher expectations when it comes to these pay-per-views because up until a few years ago, wasn't able to watch pay-per-views because they were $59.99.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
paying that price for a wrestling pay-per-view where it's scripted, okay?
yeah. No, I wouldn't pay $60 for something like that anytime.
Yeah.
I could get like a 40-hour long video game for that. Heck,
hmm
I could get a Pokemon game for half that, and it would last me like 100 hours, 200 hours. So,
hmm
you
Yeah.
know,
For the
I'm taking.
same price that I can pick up like 6, 7, 8 old PS2 games, heck, even more than that,
Yeah,
I can not watch his $60 pay-per-view. But with the
that's
advent of the WWE Network, I've been able to watch pay-per-views for the first time ever. I was able to watch from 2016 onward every WWE pay-per-view. And I've covered every WWE pay-per-view pretty much since mid-June on Speaks.
yep.
And I'm looking forward to Payback. I'm looking forward to what this show will bring. Next week, we will be talking about Payback some more, the post Fallout, as well as talking about what happened on that week's editions of Raw and Smackdown, and whatever notable wrestling news happened for that particular week. But I just want to say, folks, I am so, so very happy that you tuned in for this first revival edition of episode 8 of Wacky World of Wrestling. This is a show that I've wanted to bring back for years, never had the opportunity to really. All of this came together last week, and Sal becoming my permanent co host is the reason that this show exists and that we will be bringing more episodes of Wacky World of Wrestling to you in the foreseeable future. Our schedule will be next week, hopefully at Friday, but that's not a 100% lock. And we will see you then. For now, you can follow me on Twitter at FizzPatrick14. The video will be posted onto my Twitter page, as well as will be posted onto Cage Side States in the fan posts section. We will also be giving out a link in today's daily for those who want to see this revival of this show. Thank you so much for tuning in again. This is William Fitzpatrick, and have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you for the next edition of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. Have a good day.
Have a
Bye.
nice one, guys.